I'm sure at some point you've seen this 3x3 grid style t-shirt design, sweatshirt design. In fact, I'm actually wearing one right now that I made in Kittl. If you haven't seen it, it's out there. It exists. And I'm gonna show you a very easy way to do this in Kittl if you wanna make a t-shirt or sell some digital products, or this could even work for posters or prints, really on anything you can put on a tote bag. It doesn't have to be just shirts or physical products. You could use it to make wallpapers or digital art as well. Like I said, I'm gonna show you a very easy way to do this and set up a little template for yourself to be able to replicate this design a lot of times over without having to stress and get the perfect grid set up every single time. So I have my blank canvas.
Hey, so sorry to cut in here. So what you're seeing Graham use right now is our old interface, and just so you know, you can check out this video, it's up there in the cards, of our new interface, our new updated UI for Kittl, which is going to be more refreshed, same features, just we changed the left and right so they don't slide out all over the place. So just so you know, when you go sign up for Kittl, it's not this, it's this, okay? Not this, this. Okay, sorry. Go ahead and get back to your regularly scheduled program. Not this, this.
I'm just gonna go over into the elements panel, and I can either click a basic shape, or I can click up here or press R to get some rectangles going. And I'm just gonna size these down a little bit, and I'm gonna hold Option, click and drag, as well as hold Shift to make sure that it stays in alignment. And I'm gonna make a 3x3 grid. To make sure that these are evenly spaced, I'm going to select all three of these, and I'm gonna use this little tidy tool right in the top right bar. And then I'm gonna do something similar. I'm going to click Option, click, and then hold Shift and drag downwards. And then first I'm just gonna eyeball and see if I can get these spaced out all good and well. And then I'm gonna click Command G to group these. Then I'm going to group these as well, and then group these as well. And then the magic is going to be selecting all three of these columns, rows. I think it's rows. I don't know. I didn't pay attention that hard. In this grid, I'm going to select everything in this grid, and then I'm going to click tidy. And since these are three different groups, it's going to make sure that all of those are the same distance apart from each other. And it looks like it may be a little more tall than it is wide, so I'm going to just bring this up and then do it again. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, it just has to be pretty close. Then I'm going to select all of this and just size it down for the time being. I like to just click Command G, group everything together so that I can center it up on the artboard, and then I'll hit Command G again to ungroup it. I can actually go ahead and select each of these individual groups and ungroup them as well. Then I'm going to hit T to add some text to my artboard. Size this up a little bit. My design has text on the top and bottom. You could do only top, only bottom, both, or no text at all. I like text. I like text a lot, actually. So I'm going to add that here and use a nice serif font like showcased here. So I'm going to use Instrument Serif, which is actually the exact same font that is used in this sweatshirt. So I'll just put something in here, top line of text. Hold Option is a little trick to size out these text windows. Instead of having it go out like that, you can size it out from the center by holding Option. Then I'm going to center that up, and then Option, click and drag down, also holding Shift to make sure it stays in alignment. And then I'm just going to do bottom line. Again, Option, and size that out so it stays in the middle, and then I don't have to realign it. It's a time saver. And I want the spacing of this to be a little bit more tightened, a little bit more 90s looking. But of course you can use whatever font that you want for your project. It's very, very, very important to use a font that is going to match your project very, very well. Is this a grid of very techie looking things? You're going to want to use a techie looking font. Is it a grid of doodles? You might want to use a doodle looking font. Is it a grid of mid-century chairs? Well, then I'm using a very mid-century serif font, a very 90s looking font as well, because the mid-century furniture and whatnot was also a trend in the 90s, and it's actually coming back now. So here is the actual magic of being able to replace these squares with our items that we want to replace it with. So I'm just going to go into my elements panel, and I'm going to type in something like doodle, And obviously there's going to be a lot of doodles that pop up. The key here, and this might take some time, but be patient, is finding 9 images that either look like they're a part of the same set or are literally a part of the same set. Like for these chairs, they're all very neutral colors. I found them and adjusted the coloring and the contrast of them and removed the background so that they looked cohesive in a grid. I didn't just leave them as whatever exposure or coloring that they were. I tried to mash them to each other so that they all looked good next to each other. It can be a little bit of a challenge. It's definitely very, very cool and rewarding when you can get them all to look the same. And so I think I'm going to use this set of doodles. And so here is the magic, is just the click and replace feature. I'm going to click this and I'm going to replace it with my doodle here. This, replace this with a little teddy bear. This right there. Could replace this with an owl, and then let's say a butterfly. Get a little flower going. I like this little, what is this, a bird? This little jar of, I think that's a jar of honey, maybe. And then let's see what else we got in here. Got a little peace sign, and then I'm gonna do another flower down here. Although some of them can look not correct. Like all this works because all of these chairs are kind of roughly the same height and width. You know, so if you're putting stuff in a grid and one of them is significantly shorter height-wise than the other, it's very obvious. And so I'm going to undo that one and find another one here that looks good. We could do the fish or we could do the coffee. And what I can easily do is I can select all of these and I'm going to change the color of this to black or whatever color you want. And I'm just going to get rid of that fill color. So, you know, let's say that this was on an off-white shirt, that fill color would punch through. If you want to, you know, if you're afraid of these doodles being a little too thin, you know, if you're going the doodle route and they're outlined and they're not filled in, you could add a little bit of a border to them and up that border weight. And, you know, you could do that to each of them to thicken it up a little bit. You could also play around with the colors of them and, you know, not delete the color fill. And, you know, like let's say I want to do this as like kind of an orange. I select these guys as well. Boom. That looks pretty cool. You know, just experiment with different things. And, you know, you get your stuff together and you're like, oh, I don't know if the text really kind of fits with that vibe. And so I think this is a little bit more of a doodle text kind of design. And so I can click my 2 lines of text and change the font at the same time and edit them any way that I want. So that's one example. So I'm just going to click undo a bunch of times. And so if you build this template for yourself, you know, you could just copy and paste your artboard over and then apply a bunch of this stuff. And so I'm going to just make another one of these. I can go to elements and I can type in plants and I'm going to look for a set of plants that kind of look the same. I could search through the elements without actually typing anything into the search bar and then it would show me all the packs together because this is going to show you like a lot of results. So I might go to illustrations and look, this is a set of vintage florals right here, which is great. So I'm going to hit a couple of these, replace, boom, already looking awesome. Let's add this one, replace. And you just want to make sure that you're doing a couple different colors, a couple different combinations of things to make it a good variety. I'm going to go over here. Like, for example, all of that is very colorful and has different colors, and so they look cohesive together. So if I do this like fern looking thing, it's just going to stand out because it's the only thing that's solely green. Do this one. Ooh, that one's nice. Let's try that. And we just need one more. Let's do this one right here. And so now when I'm looking at this, it's very nice and balanced, I think, except for maybe these two. This one is like too horizontally shaped and thin, so I need to find one that's a little bit more of a bundle. So that's closer, and then this one sticks out now to me a little bit, and so I might do something like that. Awesome. And so I would actually use this same instrument serif text for this, but you know, maybe the serif text is not your vibe and you're like, oh, this is pretty and flowers, and so I want to find a nice script text to go with this, maybe like a nice handwritten script text. Boom, hemisphere script. I think there's a new one. I've not even seen that. So I'm gonna size this out and sick. Like you've got a whole another design. And so you could just come in here and click and replace all of these with different sets of things. I mean, there's like 330 vintage florals. You could make a ton of different combinations of these. There's a traditional tattoo pack. Like I'll do this one super quick. Replace, replace, replace. And I'm just clicking through, making sure I get ones that are nice and full. Let's do this one. That one looks nice. Let's do this one. Boom, butterfly or monarch, super classic. And then this little skeleton riding the skateboard. And I definitely don't think that the serif font fits this vibe and vintage tattoo, so I might actually search for a vintage font. And I like this one because it has a little bit more character than Adventurer 03. And so I'm going to space this out. And the beauty of having this just set out is I can just click both of these and I'm like, the font size is a little too big. And so I'm just going to size that down. And dependent upon like the height of your different sets, it's going to kind of change the optical balance of where that top and that bottom line of text is going to fall. And so you might need to grab that and readjust it a little bit. And I'm not using a serif font anymore, so I'm going to set the letter spacing back to normal. And boom, that's another one. I think we should do one more. I'm feeling lucky. It's a new year, new me, so I'm going to do this. I love this detailed animal drawing set, and so we're going to do that. Eagle, bear, boom, butterfly. Let's freaking go. Octopus, that's sick. Another bear, I think. That butterfly is different, so I'll take it. Tiger, lion, one or the other. Beetles scare me, so I'm going to do something different. Little gorilla, let's go. And eagle, let's put that there. So that looks pretty sick. I think that it would look good not filled in or filled in with a different color. And so let me play around with my colors here. Let's do like that color and then change this to different one. It's actually pretty trippy, pretty cool. I like that. Might darken that red a little bit, get more contrast out of it. And then I'm gonna find a nice font that I hope will match the vibe of this. So we've got like some detailed animal drawings. This is actually gonna be kind of hard to match a font to. I actually kind of like this. It's a little handwritten-esque. It's pretty cool. Could technically go the serif route. I actually kind of like this more like news looking font. So I could grab this. Let's say I wanted to match that color. I could do something like that. And boom. You've got 3 completely different designs out of this layout. And so the more different like concepts and layouts that you can figure out how to insert different designs into, like it's gonna speed you up. You're gonna be able to make more things. That image replace feature is definitely key here. Make sure to make your template and keep a copy of it. Don't do it on the one that you make. Copy that template and then make your new design there. Hopefully you found this video super helpful. Go make some designs. If this video was helpful, make sure to leave a comment down below and let us know which of these 3 designs you like, or if you don't like any of these 3 and you're like, yo, I really like the one on your sweatshirt, that one's fire, I want to pick that one, just tell me in the comments. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a like on this video. It helps us out a ton. We passed 100,000 subscribers just in the nick of time right before New Year's. Thank you all so much for that. That was a huge celebration and a huge win for Kittl. Again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.